Hi, today we have our friend here, Mr. Dale. Mr. Dale, again, we welcome you here.
Thank you.
And today we're going to talk about, it's a very, very, very important issue. And we're going to see that very closely. And what can be done, we'll just, bring our thoughts and all these ideas. So that is about Syria. The things are taking place in Syria more is like the kids are being dying and the families separated. Father is one side, mother is one side, and kids is looking for their parents and they cannot find. And all we can hear is just the screaming, the dead body, and all this. And even we see that, earlier we were talking about how you talking about the Syrians and Kurdish people and
the
all
Kurds
this.
and the Turks.
But we're going to start from Mr. Dale, see what he thinks, what's going on there.
I think it's horrible. I think it's just terrible. To me, the way I see it as an American, I see two giants, Russia and America, as two giants in a playground beating the hell out of each other using somebody else's cannon fodder. I think it's terrible. It's absolutely terrible.
And I think at the same time, United States and what we call that, Russia, and then of course we have other countries too that but this is what I don't understand. United Nations, what part of United Nations is playing that? How hypocrite talks there and all this, they talk. What is United Nations for though?
I really had always thought that the purpose of the United Nations was to come to the aid of countries or groups of people that were being attacked, and I don't see them really doing anything. Obviously, the United Nations are not united on anything.
No, I don't see. And
I mean, the major players in the United Nations can't even agree on anything.
Yeah, my whole issue is this.
I mean, two of the permanent members of the United Nations are the ones causing this.
Yeah,
are you kidding me?
For God's sake.
What are you doing?
This is, my whole thing is, this message is for, Putin. I want to talk to Putin and Bashir. The Bashir there, the Syrian leader and all this. Come on, the man who, in his own homeland, you don't see that, kids are dying, your people are dying, and there's nothing can be done. And I feel bad, for the Muslim community. Is Saudi Arabia, you are sleeping? Sudan, Saudi Arabia, Pakistan and the country?
In many ways, I think they have their own problems to deal with. I mean, they've got Yemen going on right now, so as far as Saudi Arabia goes, they've got a lot of their own issues going on. But
that's a genocide. Come on, man.
I know.
This is a daylight genocide.
Where is the United Nations in this? Where are you guys?
United Nations, America, Russia. This is a daytime genocide. We see that every day the kids are dying, the families, and then we see that, you know that you and me, we never ever experienced that how to become a refugee. How to go from one.
I have been so lucky.
Right?
I have been
so lucky here. Same, we've been never in that issue where we have a refugee and we have to cross the border. We didn't have food for many, many days.
Well, here in the United States, if there was a group of 4,000 people like ISIS that was roaming into villages or towns and killing everybody, here in the United States, you'd have 400,000 hunters with guns, and they'd be dead in less than 24 hours. That, I think, is really one of the differences here in the United States.
Yeah, but
is that there are so many armed civilians that forming a group like that and just going and killing everybody in a town, I think you'd have a hard time with that in about a day.
Yeah, but then again, this is the United States, okay?
Right.
But here's my thing: in Syria, Saudi Arabia, Pakistan. I'm sorry that all these Muslim people, Muslim country, at the same time, okay, what happened when they talk about, blasphemy law, that you cannot talk about Prophet Muhammad, you cannot talk against Prophet Muhammad, because if you do that, it's a blasphemy. Come on, people, Muslim people, I'm talking to you, wake up, that, see what's happening in Syria. Come on and talk about, Saudi Arabia, what's going on with you, Pakistan. And I'm not talking about just Muslim, I'm talking about the Christians too. Or Muslim, Hindu, Christians, whatever, you doing your church, you going to church, you pray and all this. Namaz, 7 times and all this. Fasting, for what? when your own human being is being killed? The kids are being killed. Where is your Islam? Where is your Christianity? Where is your Hinduism? Where is your Judaism?
Where's your humanity?
That's
Where's
what
your
I'm
humanity?
trying to get, the humanity. Because once you become a religious, I think humanity died. Humanity has to come first before religion, you know. So this is my thing is, now who's gonna come out and talk about, or at least take stand to the world, or united for the human being once, for God's sake, for those
I
people.
think they've forgotten the value of human life.
And
Have we gone so far? Have we gone so far in our civilization that human life is
No, it doesn't.
no longer valued?
No, there's no value. You know, the more, I mean, we can talk about fight. You know, Christian, Muslim can fight about religion. Hinduism can.
I don't
this
know
is all
why.
fight about religion.
I don't understand why you'd want to fight about it.
Yeah, I mean,
everybody wants the same thing. We all want to live free.
exactly, and let other free.
I got to admit, when I was in Saudi Arabia and I had the opportunity to talk with real Muslims, and then we discussed freedom. And in his eyes, freedom was the freedom for him to practice his religion, but not for anybody else to practice theirs. And that's, I remember our conversation on that, and that's where I kind of stopped him, and I looked at him and was like, in America, freedom is that you can practice your religion, I can practice my religion, and we can live together, and that's okay.
Yeah, and
it's fine.
And you know, and that's...
And it was strange for me to actually to see someone who was so absolute about, well, freedom to me is for me to practice my religion, but nobody else can practice theirs.
This is a horrible. And even if it's in United States, that will ever take place.
Now, keep in mind now that was only one person. Okay, that doesn't not say that it's the same for all.
I mean, that's very good that you address that. And you know, my whole issue is, you know, I'm sitting here. We're talking about those kids, those family in Syria.
Yeah.
That, you know, you, me, or many people, Muslim, Hindu, Christian, we can never feel their pain.
No,
we can
no.
talk about,
we can
you know,
talk
we can talk about the religion.
I cannot imagine my entire city completely bombed out with no power, no water, no medical. I cannot even fathom what they're going through. And the fact that the United States, our government, and the government of Russia, and I have no opinions about Putin or, you know, Vladimir Putin. I have no opinions about any of that. I look at what's going on in the Middle East, in the Ukraine. I look at what's going on in Georgia. I see the energy wars. I see wars over energy. I see China buying land and area in Africa. I see us fighting over positioning ourselves for natural gas, positioning ourselves for oil, because this is the energy wars. And there are people in the crosshairs that have nothing to do with any of this.
No, this is the bottom line is here.
So that we can keep civilization the way that it is, continually moving
But how are we going to
along.
do the civilization when we don't going to have human beings? I mean, is this not part of civilization? You know, kids are dying, and you know, here
we have to look at the humanity of it first.
And if look at in America, one of the beautiful things I like about America is, you know, we welcome every religion. Any religion, they come here, we give them, you know, whatever they want to build.
Yes,
they want to build
even
mosques,
allow Satanism.
you know, Hindu, whatever they want to build. You know, we do that.
We do.
But here is the point that my Syrian brothers, sisters, those families, I mean, come on, people. This is for once for all. Think about, feel the pain. If you're a Muslim, Christian, Hindu, Jew, feel the pain for those Syrian kids and all this, you know, and raise your voice.
But I need, what I would like is just for all of them just to stop. Just stop. Just put down the guns.
And what leadership is that?
And just stop fighting.
I mean, what leadership Putin has, what leadership President Trump has, or Bashir, for God's sake, man, what do you want to live for? If that would happen to your family, if your family part or Putin or President Trump or any of these Saudi Arabian, you know, the King Shah, whatever, you know, King Abdullah and all this, if that would be his family, his kids going through that, now how would he feel that? Or UNO, United Nations, Moon's family.
Vengeance is not the answer.
No, that is not the answer.
It just goes back and forth.
I mean, I remember that, you know, what was his name, Mr. in in United Nations, Kofi Annan, when he was that, he did one of a very brave step for that, for the war in Africa, the country, I forgot the name though. But people like that, in United Nations, or Pakistan, or India, or they don't even time from their own, fight from Kashmir and all this. My whole thing is Muslims, brother and sister, it's not the point. Christian brother and sister, it's not the point. It's human being.
It's human beings.
My whole thing is that, it is not about religion at all, as Muslim or Christians.
It's the value of life.
It's the value of life.
Value of life.
And that's what my whole thing is that, Egypt, they had an issue and all this, and they changed the regime, right?
Right.
We saw that. That's where same thing need to be done in Syria.
I don't know what needs to be done. The only thing that needs to happen, first off, is just stop fighting and start talking.
Yeah, they
Start
come
talking.
Bashir. Save more kids.
Try to decide on what you're fighting over. What are you really fighting for? What
Exactly.
are you fighting over?
By killing kids and all this, what
How
you gonna
does that
achieve?
solve anything? It really doesn't solve anything. If you kill that child's parents, now that child grows up without parents, and now 20 years later they're going to come after you, maybe.
Yeah,
this doesn't solve anything.
We,
If you really want to solve things, you need to just
come talk.
talk about
Talk.
it. Put down the weapons.
2018, we civilized,
Yeah,
exist,
we talk about being a civilized,
Yeah, but
civilized people, and here, what are we doing? What are we
killing
doing?
people. This is this we kill more people in 2018, 17 or 20th century than we ever in the history. More people died in 20th century. Well, we pray that, Syria situation get better, and we pray that there should be no ever any situation will ever take in any country.
And I would certainly
regardless
hope that the United Nations would take a little bit more action.
and which is never going to happen.
And if it's necessary for the United Nations to actually put sanctions on Russia and the United States, who are both really kind of responsible for this.
And United States, they want to make money.
I'm all for that.
They want to make money. They would never do that and all this.
No, of course not. Oh, it's all about profit too.
Yeah,
isn't it?
profit.
Profit.
So
People dying at the hands of profit. Well,
that's sad. United States. That's sad. Their blood be on you.
Oh, no, it's on Russia too.
Russia
it's
too.
on you too.
Russia, you listening?